Yo, Joe! Hello, everybody. Today we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 25, Lady Jaye. And this figure is great. I'm just going to say it's good. I know everyone and their grandmother has probably done a video for this because it's been around for a while. It's fairly cheap, pretty easy to get a hold of, but I haven't done one yet, so I want to. I just got this one off Amazon, like 15 bucks, and I have to say it's already made it to like the top 5 of my favorite Joes that I have. She's really good, and I'm really happy to have her because Lady Jaye is probably the most important of the female Joes to me, personally. You know, Scarlet, of course, is iconic and everything. Love CoverGirl, yeah, but Jaye is the one that I think of the most because of her importance in the cartoon. The original cartoon series, she appeared the most. More than any of the other ones, I think, personally. Like, I can think of episodes of CoverGirl, sure, and I can think of episodes of Scarlet, but, like, most of them in my mind involved Lady Jaye and Flint. And so that's what I see in my head. And this figure is a very good interpretation of that classic Lady Jaye that I think of. And I really like it. I think it's great. And bringing Jaye in to get a closer look, you can really tell that this figure had a lot of love put into it. This is a really good version of Lady Jaye. I think that this is the best you're going to get. I love an animation colors accurate version of Lady Jaye at some point down the line, you know, with the darker green of the pants, but like that's just a minor nitpick. You even have that here on the texturing on the calves, rather on the thighs, and it looks really good. Speaking of her thighs, she is covered in pouches. There are pockets and pouches everywhere, which makes sense for Jaye. She would have loads of pouches to store all of her arrowheads, which we will get to shortly because there's actually a place to store 2 of her arrowheads. And this figure looks really good. Even if you do touch her hair, it does tend to wibble around a little bit. That's a little bit of an issue, but that's just me. I like basically everything here. Looks fantastic. I love the texturing on here. There's a lot of really nice lines that help accentuate the body, and there's a nice use of different colors, like on the side here. There's a lot of good uses of different shades of green. And now looking at it on the camera here, you can kind of see that this is actually painted on. You can really tell here because it's chipping a little bit, so that's a shame. But there's a lot of really good uses of different greens on here, darker greens, lighter greens. Really adds into the camo aspect, especially with the brown straps here, along the chest here, on the belt. This belt's very loose, by the way, tends to wibble around. But this figure looks fantastic. I really like it. You bring in the face sculpt. It really does look like that cartoon version of Lady Jaye, which is fantastic. How many times am I going to say fantastic in this video? Take a shot every single time I say fantastic, and you'll be under the table by the end of the video. This figure looks great. I like it a lot. I like the Joe Pro on the side here. The gloves, the boots. The boots have a nice, you know, small little bit of laces on here that are then covered by armor, which is smart. That seems reasonable. I really like it. I think it's good. The brown texturing on the belt, you can see the belt lines, strap on the back here. Everything works really well for this figure. It's making a good, well-rounded version of this character, which is great. We need that. I don't have the flint. I'd love to get the flint at some point, but I think this looks better than the flint. I've only seen like pictures and shots of it, but that flint seems to have a few issues on it, but that's just me. Now, as for the articulation of this Jaye, it's fairly solid. It's good. There's a ball joint in the head here, so you get a full range of motion there. Hairpiece comes off. I don't know if you count that as articulation, but it does tend to do that. It looks like there should be some movement in the neck here because it's, you know, it's ported in, but there's a little bit forward, but like not much. You know, there's snaps forward on the neck here, but there's a little bit of forward on the neck joint there. The torso here is on a double ball, like one at the top, one at the bottom here, so you can rotate it a decent amount. I prefer an ab crunch, honestly. I don't do it on all these, but I would prefer one. There is a butterfly joint inside the arm here. It doesn't do a whole lot, but I appreciate that it's there. It can go full 360 here. There's a swivel here at the upper arm. Double jointed, pinless elbows, so she can she can pick her own ear. The arms, hands, both of them have a downward hinge, like that, which is good for when she's holding her spear gun. There are drop-down hips here, which I find to be annoying sometimes, especially because mine had to heat it up a little bit, came with it stuck like this, so I had to heat it up in order to pop it back into place, and even then it doesn't like to lock all the way up every time. There is a swivel here at the upper thigh, so you can get full 360 there. Double jointed knees, pinless also, so a lot of motion there. There is a swivel here at the calf, And there's a hinge and a forward-facing pin for the rocker of the feet, so that you can have a lot of motion. So there's a lot of motion on this Jaye, which is great for photography. So yeah, if you're taking pictures, you can have some fun time there. Now, as for her accessories, there are quite a bit. She has 2 spears, which one I keep in the backpack and one I keep in the spear gun itself. Both can come out, so you can put them in however you want to. Spears are nice. I really like the way they look. There's a lot of really nice detail work, and there's a solid grip here in the middle. It looks really solid. And these spearheads actually pop off. So they pop right off, and you can take them and put them in the backpack here, because there's a space for one of the sharp spears and a shape for the other one, which is a sort of net launcher, which you kind of need to use the spear to actually get it out. It doesn't want to come out. So you pop it in there and pull it out. And this one is sort of a net texture. That's my guess, at least, because it has these kind of hooks here. It looks like that's what it would be, or maybe like a grappling hook of some sort. I don't know. There's no articulation on it. It doesn't move or anything. It's just solid black plastic. But it's nice that there's an additional option there. The backpack itself looks really good. There's a lot of space in for some additional pouches. 1, 2, 3 there. There's a little backpack spot here. But it's mostly used to keep the spearheads in. And also, there's a camera on the side here, because the original Lady Joe action figure came with a camera, like a handheld camcorder. It's a huge camera. This one is more of a modern one, which is like it's on a gimbal. You know, it has points of articulation on it. You know, it can go down and up, side to side, swivel here. Gives it a lot of range of motion, which makes sense for something that they would be using like that, as opposed to like a big handheld camera. There is, of course, her spear gun, which you can then take the spear, load it into, and fire to your heart's content. That is still a weird weapon choice to me. I'm not a big fan of it. That's why I sometimes prefer just to give her a gun. But hey, it's there. It's toy accurate. It's what you want, you know? There is, of course, a pocket knife for her, because basically every single Joe comes with some sort of pocket knife. This one looks fairly generic, you know, just black plastic, little bit of sculpt work, nothing big on it. Now, she also has 2 additional hair pieces, because one is her hat, which is toy accurate, and one is her hair, which is cartoon accurate. So what you do is, if we move this back here, pull the camera up, and bring Lady Jaye to the forefront, you can see her horrifying bald head, and you can take this hairpiece and put it on here. See if you're more cartoon accurate Jaye, or you can take it off, and you can put the hat piece on. Now careful, there's a little piece of hair for the sideburn here, and sometimes it'll get caught underneath. So you've got to just move it out of the way before you put it on there. And put that on, and you've got the more toy-accurate hairpiece where she has her hat on with the modern G.I. Joe logo. And I really like this. I kind of like this more because I just like figures to have additional accessories and, you know, style points. That's why I keep Sergeant Slaughter with all of his items on him at every given time. This figure looks really good like this. I think it looks great. It really does stand out. And it's funny, too, if you put the hat a little bit behind her back, you can really fit all of her accessories on her at any given point. Now, as for size comparison, here she is next to Recondo, who she is a little bit shorter than, you know, about a half a head shorter than, which makes sense. Lady Jaye isn't the tallest of the Joes, so that would make sense size-wise. Here she is next to her often rival, the Baroness, and Baroness has a little bit of height on her, and I don't know, I'm not entirely sure why. Her legs might be a little taller, but she has a little bit of height on Jaye, which, you know, feels fine. And here she is next to the twins, Tomaz and Xamot, respectively. And these two, I might have a video up for sometime soon. I don't know, keep an eye out. But, you know, they fare fairly well together. They're quite a bit taller than her. That looks quite nice. So there she is, the lady herself, Lady Jaye, and I really like her. I think she's great, and I think she's a mandatory for every single Joe collector just because you need her on the team. I think you need her more than Scarlet, and this figure is great, fantastic, really happy to have it. Can't wait to get a Flint. Again, I can't wait to get my Dragonfly so I can stick her in the Dragonfly. She'll look great in there. But yeah, no, this is great. You can pick her up on Amazon now, and also the retro version, which are both $15 or so. I might get the retro one at some point just to do another video on there, do a little comparison. But yeah, no, this is a great figure. I really liked it. I hope you did too. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, everything I need down below. And thank you all so very much. I will see you next time. Have a great day.